Hello, it is April 17th. I am in zone 6B, and this is a tour of my garden. So, this garden space hasn't actually ever really been measured, but I think it's about 40,000 square feet, and it is tucked away up in the mountains. Well, hills. In the forest, for sure. So this spot right here used to be just as densely forested as the pieces around it. And over the last 2.5 years, we've chopped down all the trees and slowly added bed after bed. And I thought it'd be fun just to start filming the progress and the plant growth. I always love looking back at pictures during the winter, so now I get to do it in video format. So starting over here, this has a bunch of sunflowers in it. So I start essentially all my plants using winter sowing, which is where you make a little greenhouse jug and put it out during the winter. And then little sprouts come up, and then you plant them out. I believe these are some self-sown marigold seeds. At least that's what I'm hoping they are. It's definitely something going on there. I threw in, I think, 2 calendula plants right there, and some more sunflower. I'm really excited to get this going because it's right here when you see the garden. That's my house. We've got 2 Nigerian dwarf goats over there and chickens. That's where you drive up. This is my compost. Leaves. This is something that we made to be a greenhouse, but we used painter's plastic instead of greenhouse plastic, and it, disintegrated. So now we are just going to use it for its arching properties, and then come winter, we'll put the right plastic over it and use it for a greenhouse. So I have really focused on flowers this year, but I don't label anything. So I have no idea what flowers are where. It'll just be a beautiful surprise. These are potatoes. I tried doing it in feed bags and not bad. Random pot I thrifted. Garden tower with some kale, bok choy, spinach, lettuce on top. I put in some seeds in the empty holes, so I see the little green things are coming out. In here I have pole beans and all types of trellising beans on the right. And then on the left, we've got squashes and melons. Some that still need to be planted out. And then right there in the middle, I've got a little bundle of morning glory. And then I was hoping to put some nasturtium in those hanging baskets. We just recently put all the gravel down. Every rock, big and small, has been pulled from the property. We live in the Ozarks, and there are so many rocks. The soil here really is great. It's just also really rocky, but it has a good purpose in the garden. I believe those are either bachelor buttons or poppies, milkweed, calendula, and honestly, I don't know anymore. But every little tuft of green, that's yarrow, is flowers. I know that much. And they're doing really well. Yarrow again. And I'm really excited to see which flower ended up going where. This is the 2nd year hollyhock, which is exciting because I don't even remember planting it the first year. That's a self-starter sunflower and some calendula. I believe some marigold seeds have made this their home. I pulled daylilies up from where the goats are. People that lived here a long time ago had daylilies there, and I just never had time to pull them up, and so the goats would always eat them. But this year I did, and they're very happy in their tires. So this section right here with the bamboo poles is tomatoes. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 tomatoes right now, but we will fill out that space because we love growing tomatoes. And then we have peppers on the other side. I planted, I think we have 7 right now, and they just all got watered, and then one of them still looks a little sad. And then these 2 rows here have green bean seeds in them. I just planted that this morning as well. Some daylilies. I put some mint right there. It's a butterfly bush, blackberry, and then again, just little tufts of flowers of all kinds. Some that still need to be planted out. Oh, look at them go. And then some chamomile right here. This here is a peach tree, Georgia peach, that we've had the whole time, about 2 years I'd say now. But this year she has fungus. Arkansas is prone to peach tree funguses. Oh, it's so sad. So I don't know, we've been starting to research what we can do about it. Just discovered it yesterday. And then over here are some odd beds that are really all covering up tree stumps. I'd say most of the garden design revolves around covering up tree stumps. And the fact that when we first started to decide we wanted a garden, I found these apple crates on Craigslist, and we rented a 26-foot long U-Haul and filled her up to the brim, put her down in rows, and so that's kind of what we had going on the first year. And this right side over here really has just turned into something this year and a little bit of last year. But it was a work in progress because the ground was still really viney and foresty and difficult to manage. We've got onions over here, all kinds, yellow and red. And then this is a native plum tree, hard to see. I created these little banners because we have a ton of deer, which is also why I have these hoops. They like to hop over and nibble on mostly strawberry plants and lettuce, but they always just decimate it, and it is so disappointing. We've got some traps set up because we have a raccoon that's been haunting us forever, but we don't want to trap it because we don't know what to do with it afterwards, so it's really a threat. More onions, garlic, carrot rows, beautiful nasturtium, sweet pea, some seeds I threw down. I don't even remember what they were. Sometimes I just come out here with my binder bucket of seeds and I feel like I'm doing a very purposeful task, but it's a very blind action. All right, so this is a old stairway railing from my sister's house that I said, I want that. And it's freaking perfect because these sweet peas over here are gonna climb up it. They did last year and it was so cool. These are radishes, more radishes. And then on this side, some sweet peas and nasturtium, some spinach, some lettuce. This little patch right here is sorrel, radishes. I had rosemary right there, but rosemary just doesn't overwinter here without some care. Here we've got, the left one is arugula, then lettuce, bunch of little baby lettuces. Yay! I put a bunch of cucumber seeds by the trellis, and I see we've got 3 coming up. It's exciting. This is some bok choy right here. It's really trying to bolt, but I'm still enjoying it in salads, so she can stay. Lettuce, kale, lettuce. These are all winter sown. Essentially really everything except for the seeds, like the radishes and the randos and the carrots and stuff like that. I just filled this bed up with compost and put in one little plant that I found in a jug that I didn't label. So that'll be fun to see what it is. These are some carrots that started themselves. And then here are some sweet peas that are trying to work their way up. This here is a grapevine that I wasn't sure was going to come back. And she's back and she looks real good. Same here with this sage. This is my first year having sage that decided to overwinter. It's doing kind of a thing where it's like trying to flower, but it's not. It's just like making these little buds. Oh, I love it. It smells so good. My husband Xander has been really into making sourdough bread, and he made a focaccia loaf bread the other day and put some fresh sage in it, and it was a delight. Sweet pea. This bed is going to have ground cherries in it. They're just not planted out yet because they're still, let's see, there they are. They're still so tiny, and I notoriously have an issue with roly-polies, which I know are good for the garden, but I don't even know. I've been cursed by roly-polies. They eat my seeds. Swiss chard, looking good. And then, oh, this is Tia Beanie. Hi, baby girl. This is an herb spiral. I got inspiration from a YouTuber called Lovely Greens. I think her name is Tanya. She lives in somewhere in England or something. Anyway, she has some really cool crafty projects. And I made this when we first put the garden together. And I had an anise here. And that anise got real big and it self-seeded everywhere. So that's an anise. This little guy is. And there was a couple other ones I dug up and gave to my sister. And then there's one behind me. Nasturtium, sweet pea. So in here though, I have the anise, chamomile, nasturtium. I put basil seeds over there just this morning. Lemon verbena, which smells heavenly. Oregano, 2 chamomiles down there. And then, I don't know, some random flower. What a surprise. And then turning around, so all these beds I made from, all the additional beds that aren't apple crates, I made from wood that we found on this property. So when we bought this property, it was in a sorry state and it had just junk everywhere. And so we turned that into a gardenia. And I love her recycled vibe. So this here is a strawberry bed. This was looking real good from the start of the season, but then the deer came in and just ripped every single plant out. But they're all back. They're recovered, and that's what counts. And I see we've got a little berry. And also that's why we've got such a defense system going on right now. These pantyhose have Irish Spring soap in them because people say that the strong scent deters deer. And I mean, so far, so good. We have a trail cam we put out here to see the activity, and it really has been a lot better lately. This is mint. This is like a soft, fuzzy mint. And then mixed in that is some chocolate mint. It's like the really like small patches down there. And then like a spearmint is the hairless one. And I really prefer that one, but the fuzzy mint has, turned out to be the dominant plant. but she's still good. This has asparagus in it. We need to put more in there. And I need to do some research on asparagus. Because we just put that in there and then we're like, it takes a long time for them to get going. But I feel like I've lost a couple along the way. This section here is going to have trellising squash, rimpicante squash. These are potatoes as well. And then these tires back here also have daylilies in it that I salvaged from the goat pen. And they are significantly happier than they've ever been. Oh, little bee. And then here I've got hollyhocks, yarrow from last year, some random flowers, catnip that just has decided this is its home. I never planted that, I swear. Sometimes I feel like my seeds are out here and they just like fly out the bin, which I prefer. Poppy, I think. Strawberry calendula with a row of hollyhocks. More calendula, I believe. I don't know. More calendula. Chamomile. That's mullein. It sows itself freely here, but I do enjoy it. A bachelor's button. Flower of some sort. And hollyhock. Then I think the only section I didn't do yet is... So over here I had tulips. And I need to let them die down naturally and then replant something, either peppers or sunflowers. It's a verbena in the front, a rosemary. That's the other anise. This one is looking really good this year. The last tulip. Oh, I'm in love. This bed, I think there's a little critter in here eating stuff because I planted a bunch of little baby plants and they look hella munched on. And I swear to God, it's probably roly-polies. Put some right there. But mostly there's eggplant in here, and I put some seeds in there, hopefully to trellis up. Over here, I've got bachelor's buttons, chamomile, zinnias, and a lot of coxcomb. I love me some celosia. And then in here, I usually have corn, but the birds ate every single corn seed except for literally one. So I put a bunch of sunflower seeds in here and hopefully that'll be fine. And then some flowers. This is a lilac. Gomphrena. I have a peony bud down there. And then there was a tree trunk situation happening here. And I made a bed and I put in some cannas. So yes. And then this here has marigold seeds. Just flowers. A big patch right by the tomatoes. That's where we're at right now. It's the very beginning and things are looking green and happy and I am feeling green and happy. All right, till another time.